Hello, this is Mayor Chris Bollwage, and I'd like to welcome all of you to another edition of Our City. Residents can visit any of our social media accounts to get any information on upcoming events in our city, or if you simply have a question, you can call our public information office at 908-820-4124. Now, I'm pleased to be joined on this week's show by Mr. John Evangelista, who is the Executive Director of Groundwork Elizabeth. John, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
And also Mr. Jonathan Phillips, who is the organizer of Tour de Elizabeth and also had something to do with Groundwork Elizabeth in a previous life. Jonathan, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mayor.
So why don't we refresh our viewers? You've both been on here before, but tell us a little bit. We'll start with you, Jonathan. You retired, so what have you been up to? Tell us what's going on, where you came from.
Yeah, Mayor, thank you. I've technically stepped down as Executive Director as of July 1st, and we have a great guy who is taking the role on. He was our Operations Director. He knows what has to be done, and he's got a vision for the organization. So I stepped down. I'm still working with them on the tour. Love the tour, as you know. Bicycles are my blood. Our family had a store here in Elizabeth for 104 years, Morris Heron Bicycles, and we're just proud to be still associated with the great organization.
So what's the lineage? You married into the family?
I did.
Tell me how that worked.
Janie Marcus and her father Gil Marcus, who I remember, I think you knew Gil. He was the son-in-law of Morris Heron, who started the business in 1904. Then Gil took it over as son-in-law. Then I took it over as son-in-law in 1987.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
I was often wondering how that works. So it was a bunch of son-in-laws.
Son-in-laws. Yeah.
And John, how are you doing in Groundwork now that Jonathan has passed the torch to you? Things going well?
Things are going great. It's been an interesting first year. It's been fantastic all along. Love the organization, always have. Gave up my career to come down here once I met Jonathan and saw what happened. So it's been fantastic.
So what were you doing before?
I was hydroponic farming, and I had a landscape design and construction business for 30 years before that.
Wow.
And then I saw what Jonathan was doing down here and how the city worked, and it's been a pleasure to be a part of it.
Tell our viewers, what is hydroponic farming?
So hydroponic farming is it's very interesting. It's growing plants in water without any soil at all. It's an interesting concept, and we're working with Kane University now to enhance their greenhouse and bring it in. And so I still get to play in it a little bit. It's
so we were doing some of that at the Sampson Center for a while, right?
We are, yeah.
We
and
still are?
We're going to start doing it again this year. We spoke to them at the Plant a Seed giveaway, and they're interested in putting the system back up, and they still have it. So we're going to stop in there. And
did we get anything out of there last year or the year before?
They did 7 turns of 50 plants. So about 3,500 plants came out of there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they bagged them. They gave them away to all the residents. So it's been a great concept. They're having a lot of fun with it.
Wow. So tell us, I was just recently with you at the Rizzuto Park where we had to plant some trees and things. And
yes.
Tell us about that event and any other upcoming events at Groundwork Elizabeth before we get into the tour.
That was fantastic. That was our Earth Day event, Boots Not Suits. We hold it every year. We try to go to Rizzuto Park.
I know I showed up in a suit, but that's all right.
No, that's quite all right. We planted some trees. We do about 60, 70 trees a year in the park. Try to reforest the park. It's the last known forest in the Elizabeth area, so we want to keep that alive and going. That's our big event of the year, aside from our gala and of course the Tour de Elizabeth. And some of the other things we're doing is we have a Saturday volunteer day, the 3rd Saturday of the month at the micro farm, open to the community. Anybody can come down, they can get some plants, they can learn how to plant, how to eat healthy, and we incorporate that into our normal everyday project. And the school kids in Elizabeth are starting to come to the farm. Monday
I had the schedule, yeah, I'm going to.
It's fantastic. We would love to have you there. They are a great bunch of youth. We hosted over 1,600 Elizabeth second graders last year, and we're hoping to get up to 2,000 this year between 2nd and 3rd grade.
They must get a kick out of that.
They love it.
Well, I was there last Saturday or 2 Saturdays ago, and picked up a strawberry plant. I have no idea if it's going to get any strawberries out
Oh,
of it.
you'll get some.
Do you leave it in the same pot, or you got to plant it in the ground?
You could put it in the ground. It'll do better. You can leave it in the pot. It will produce, but if you put it in the ground, it'll get bigger and
Are
produce
there rabbits
more.
or deer or anything going to eat it?
They're going to eat everything.
They are.
You're making a salad for them out there is
For
what's
them, right?
happening.
So the Tour de Elizabeth, you mentioned that. It's this Sunday, May 18th. Jonathan, you helped start this with Bob Varity, Bill Holzapfel, and a few others.
Yeah.
What year is this, and give us some details.
This is our 22nd year. We have great riders that come back every year. They love Elizabeth. We have new ones that come every year as well. And it's a 15-mile recreational bicycle ride around the city of Elizabeth. We break it into two sections. There's two 7.5-mile sections. They start and end at City Hall. And this year we're coming back around the same way for the halfway mark as we start at. So it'll be actually easier to do. Along the way, we have the EMS and the police escorting us. If anybody gets tired, they're able to be picked up. But people get views of the beautiful geography we have in Elizabeth. Besides just a wonderful city to live in, we're right on the water. So people get a chance to ride along the Arthur Kill. They get a chance to ride on the Elizabeth River Trail. They get a chance to ride on Broad Street and Elizabeth Avenue, business districts, and just have the time of their life.
They do. It's a very enjoyable ride. And John, you've been part of this as well, the tour. But also tell us, what other ways does Groundwork organization benefit Elizabeth?
Well, first I have to start by saying, Mayor, we couldn't do what we do without the support of you and the city behind us. We have a fantastic micro farm where we produce 15,000 plants every year to give away to the community. The school gardens in Elizabeth, we have a garden in every school. We have fantastic youth programs that are just starting up now, 3 of them. One specifically is the Mayor's Youth Council, which you know dearly. They're working on an anti-litter campaign this year, and they're looking to do more community cleanups, so we're going to ramp that up this year as well. There's a lot going on over there, and we're going to continue along and continue to work with the city. And
Do you ride in a tour, by the way, John?
I've been working it the past 6 years or so, but this year might be the year, if not next year,
We have to get
probably.
you on the bike, John.
We have
I
to
can
get on a
out there.
ride,
I
don't
have
we,
to
John?
do
You
it.
gotta
I've been
experience
working
it,
it
yeah.
all the time. I say that every year. I'm going to try to do this, but by the time we get to the nitty gritty, I got to jump
gotta
around
do some
and
work.
do
Yeah.
some work.
John, tell the tour has changed through the years in good ways and different routes. And tell us about some of those changes and the routes as well.
Let me take you back in time to 2004 when Morris Aaron Bicycle still existed. We used to start and end there, if you remember.
That's right.
So we had a route there that went in different directions, and now, because it's so popular.
That was because people had to buy a bicycle from Morris Aaron, right?
Didn't hurt.
It didn't hurt.
We did repairs there too. In fact, Alonzo Jones can tell you that he came to ride and his pedal fell off. And he ran inside the store and we fixed it immediately. And he still talks about it as Mr. Hamburger or not.
That's right. That's his nickname, Hamburger.
Yeah.
So tell us about the changes on the route.
Yep. So again, we used to start at Morris Aaron Bicycles. Now, because it's so popular, we start at City Hall. We finish at City Hall. We work with our bicycle committee, which is made up of private citizens, city officials, Groundwork, of course, and we go and we design the route with the police. Each year it's tweaked, but we want to make sure that people get a chance to see the river trail, get a chance to see the water views, and get a chance to see the business district. So I'm going to save where we're going for people so they can actually enjoy the ride.
Good for you. What happens before the event? We have participants expect anything before the event? We got some music and things going on,
Yeah,
don't
we've
we?
got a great DJ that is there every year. Different vendors are set up. Groundwork is there in full force to sell plants and to let people know what Groundwork is doing. The first 500 people who signed up get T-shirts, so we have a T-shirt stand over there. We have opportunities for people to talk to each other, and for this year we're going to have a yoga person doing yoga beforehand. So each year it expands, it changes, and that's why we love people to continue to come back and for new people.
Well, we had over 800 people last year, I
Yeah,
think.
we did.
Right?
We had a lot of people, and Luckily, the police are able to actually organize and keep people in line. If you remember, we used to do 3 groups. That was a nightmare.
Yeah, that
we,
was,
We
yeah.
got down to 1 group, and everybody is escorted carefully through rolling closings and enjoys the ride.
Well, we had the group that thinks they're professionals, right? So professionals have to ride with everybody else now.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's better that way.
Oh, yeah.
It's more, plus it's more fun. Do people have to bring anything the day of? We provide water. What do we provide
Well, we
for
want
people?
people to bring a bicycle, or else they're not going to be able to ride.
I guess that's a good thing to bring to a bicycle tour is a bicycle. I
And
never thought of that, Jonathan. Thanks.
we want them to bring a helmet. We'll be providing water and nutrition bars for them as well. Some people will be getting T-shirts. We also have, if you don't have a bike, it's still late, but they can still show up. We have a bike rental company coming, and they're going to provide a mechanic as well. So we're covered.
Okay. And can anyone participate?
Anybody can participate as long as they can keep up a moderate pace, because we do have children on this ride as well. But they've got to be able to keep up a pace of about 10 miles an hour and be able to ride for 15 miles.
Yeah. That's why you don't do it, John? You can't ride the
That's
15
the
miles?
15 miles. I have
That's-
a heart condition
It
now.
was
so
10
I'm-
miles you could, right?
I think
it's
I
the
could do
15
it.
miles that get you. And if you don't have a bicycle, you can rent something.
Right out.
Okay. Now, you talked that story about Alonzo Jones with the pedal. But suppose somebody has a malfunction 8 miles into the race or something along those lines.
We're covered.
What do we do?
We're covered. Thanks to the city, thanks to the police department, thanks to Rich Bedrisky and the fire department and the entire fire department, EMS. We have a SAG wagon that's following. Plus, we have marshals along the way. So if somebody gets into trouble, they've got the EMS phone number, they call it in, you get picked up.
Good. And what about accidents, injuries? We got EMS around.
We do, yes.
And now, after the tour is over, we usually have a big thing on the steps of City Hall.
Right.
And tell us what happens after the tour is over.
Glad you brought that up. Everybody who joins the tour, regardless of them getting a T-shirt or not, gets entered into a free raffle. So we've got a lot of raffle prizes: TVs, electronics, golf foursome, bike shop, and stuff like that. And people get to really enjoy that.
The raffle you talked about, signed up, anybody can get in the raffle provided they ride.
Yeah, the great part is, as long as you sign up to ride, you're entered into the raffle, and it's a free raffle.
Right. So, John, Groundwork Elizabeth is the beneficiary of whatever money's raised from this event.
Yes.
And how do you go about using those funds in order to make Groundwork Elizabeth a better
Oh,
organization?
fantastic question. All of the money goes into our youth programming, and the focus is on keeping our youth employed, keeping the Elizabeth youth employed. All of our youth programs are Elizabeth youth. We have 3 to 4 throughout the summers. We go from about 6 people on our staff, 6 to 8 people, to about 60 to 70 people in the summer, with the employment of the youth. And all of this money is to advance these programs. The Green Team, the Mayor's Youth Council, HACE, Environmental Action Team. It's all brought in, and it's all used to fund these guys for either shirts, sometimes sunscreen, outdoor products, things like that, that we don't get funded for originally.
John, tell me about when I was there a couple of weeks ago at the micro farm. Ernst & Young had 50 employees there. And tell us about that partnership.
That's great. That's Ernst & Young have become great partners over the years. We offer corporate volunteer days to everybody who, any organization that wants to come. We do some farming with them. We teach them how to plant, how to eat. They go home with something, a plant or something. But Ernst & Young over the years has committed to funding our projects. They come in for the volunteer days. They helped us build a handicap accessible walkway, which we actually named after them this year. And they bring a lot to the table for us. They help us, they provide soil for us sometimes in the beginning of the year. And it's great to build these corporate relationships with
Now,
these
from the Ernst & Young
organizations.
side, they get they get credits for the corporate. What are
I
the
believe they do.
volunteer hours or something.
They have a yearly volunteer day throughout Ernst & Young across the country, and they come to us for that day. They want to spend their time in Elizabeth, and they've just been very receptive to the city. They love what we're doing here. They want to actually come back and do more. They had just recently called us and asked if they could come back with the Boys and Girls Club, introduce them to the micro farm and what we're doing here. So we hope to advance that and bring some more corporations in. To
And you had that,
continue these.
it's really small. It's what, an eighth of an acre or something with the actual forest, right?
About the forest is about just under an eighth of an acre.
And it, what did Jackie tell me? There's 50 indigenous plants in there or something?
There's about 50
Native to New
different
Jersey.
native trees to New Jersey in that forest. In that little tiny area, there's 270 trees planted.
In that tiny area.
In that tiny area.
And they're not all big trees, right?
There's bigger ones that will eventually grow. There's understories, and it provides a lot of carbon sequestration and oxygen production, which, in urban areas, there's a lot of asphalt, and this will combat that. Creates quiet spaces, too. It's a little bit of a noise buffer, so people kind of come and sit out there and have coffee in the morning at the farm.
And a lot of the schools have microbeds, too, right?
Yes. In fact, this year, every school in Elizabeth will have a small garden, which will consist of about 4 2x10 garden beds. We provide plants to these schools at no cost. We go out there. Jackie's running around to all the schools now doing plantings. And with that, we teach them healthy eating habits and a little bit about agriculture. And it's a fantastic program, benefits of everybody, and they get to keep the food and eat it. And a lot of the schools in Elizabeth are now offering, they're teaching how to cook with the foods. The teachers are teaching
Farm to
the
table,
students
right?
farm to table. So they're growing tomatoes and they're bringing them home and cooking with them. So it's fantastic. It's great to see.
Jonathan, anything more on the bicycle tour that we should tell our viewers before we wrap it up?
For sure. First of all, there's these postcards that are available at different sites, and you have a flyer behind John's head. We have QR codes now. There's still time to actually to join it by going to groundworkelizabeth.org, by going to the city's website, and we want to thank Jennifer and the Elizabeth Destination Marketing Organization for helping us print this and the across the street banners and things like that. But still time to sign up.
And do we take walk-ins?
We still take walk-ins as well. Yes.
Today.
Excellent.
Well, John, thank you very much
Thank
for all the
you,
work
Mayor.
you do at Groundwork and for joining us on the show. We really appreciate your efforts. And I get a kick out of going to
Pleasure to
Microfarm
be
whenever I
here.
do.
We love to have you there.
No,
anytime.
whenever my wife plants anything at the house, I'm always using the containers to bring them back
bring
to you
them
to
over
reuse
there.
them. And Jonathan, all of your work with the city of Elizabeth, going back to when Morris Aaron, and as I've told you, my dad bought bicycles at Morris Aaron for us as little boys. That was the place that we went as little boys to get our bicycles when we were growing up. So, Jonathan, appreciate your efforts on the tour.
Awesome.
I think it's going to be a huge success. And John, thank you for your work at Groundwork.
Thank you, Mayor.
First of all, I want to thank all of you for watching, and as well, Jonathan Phillips, who is managing the Tour de Elizabeth on Sunday. Please join us for a great 15-mile tour of our great city. And John Evangelista, the Executive Director of Groundwork Elizabeth. And if you have a chance, visit the microform behind the Elmore Library on the 3rd Saturday of the month. This is Mayor Chris Bollwage. We'll see you next week on another edition of Our City.